much for being here. Big news. I don't know if everybody saw this. Our group has been around for about 2 years now as of September, and we've now got over 1,000 members in the group. So that's kind of exciting. Yeah, that happened a couple of days ago. That was pretty neat. And what we've done is just created a forum where people can come together who are interested in this topic, who want to contribute, learn more about, the world of social media marketing, and it changes all the time what's going on and how things are happening out there. We focus on kind of the overarching trends and what's going on and how things are changing and what this means for marketing businesses out there today. I said in one of our previous meetings that people have to do advertising only because they don't have enough friends yet, right? And so if everybody were out there promoting you and sharing things about you and sharing word of mouth and doing things and telling each other about everybody's business, wow, we wouldn't have to do a heck of a lot more marketing. It's a fundamental change in the way that businesses work. Another thing that I've been talking with a lot of clients about is they say, well, we're going to do print and we're going to do radio and we're going to do SEO and we're going to do social media marketing. And I've been thinking about that a lot, and it's really not an advertising tactic as much as it is a way of life. It is a way of saying, this is who I am to the world today. All those other things are tactics, but I'd kind of challenge you to look at social media marketing not as, hey, this is another thing in my marketing mix. This is just the way that businesses communicate in today's world, and it's expected. If I say something negative on Twitter about a business, I think they're reading it, so it's expected. And so I've been toying a lot with how do you take that and say you don't really have a choice. There's a conversation that's already taking place. There's already this whole thing going on out there. You can't decide whether or not you're participating or not. You just can decide how much you're going to participate or not, because your company will already be out there. People will already be saying things. This is just how well can I take advantage of this occurrence that's happening in the world. And so that's kind of a fundamental shift. Today we're going to talk about planning your 2012 social media plan, right? How do you do this? What are you going to do? How are you going to take advantage of the changes and the tides and the way this all is going and the direction that you ought to take? I'd like you guys to be thinking about that. What we try and do is have a lot more of a conversation with everybody here and say, what are you going to do differently in 2012? What do you think is important for being successful with social media in 2012? And one of those keys would be, how are you going to measure that success, right? If I say, how are you going to be successful, you've got to, on some hand, quantify what that means. I did it in the least amount of time as possible. Could be your criteria, right? Could be I got this many friends. I engaged this number of people. I generated this number of leads. I raised my influence. I raised my reach. And so what would you guys consider successful, and what do you think you ought to be doing in 2012 is what our topic's going to be about today. I want to introduce our group coordinators from the South Metro Chamber. Patrick is here, and he's going to come tell us what's happening with the Chamber.
Good morning, everybody. So thank you all for being here. First, just a quick thank you to our sponsors. I know John's going to touch on that as well. But Pete's Coffee, Dale Honing Photography, and My Favorite Muffin.
Sorry, I should have.
Signaling me to the mic. I'll say that again. Dale Honing Photography, My Favorite Muffin, and Pete's Coffee. Thank you all. And a really big thank you to everybody at Webolutions. John, come up real quick. Webolutions has been a good partner of the Chamber for years and years. And we really appreciate it. This year, they participated in our Business Expo, our 90th annual. And they were honored with the Best Booth Award at our Business Expo. The theme was 1920s, since the Chamber was founded in 1921. And they came up with a speakeasy that had a candy bar, and they all dressed up in costumes and everything. Mike, Amy, Savannah, everybody did a really great job. Brian Hart over at Frame to Art framed this for them. They were mentioned in the Villager here in the bottom, picture of their booth and all of their costumes and everything. So, John, thank you all very much.
Thank you.
We appreciate everything you guys do for us.
Thank you so much. It's wonderful.
very quickly, everybody, I'm guessing a lot of you know what the Chamber does, and a lot of you probably have no idea, even if you're Chamber clients. The Chamber does three things. We're focused on creating a robust economy, helping to create public policy that's conducive to doing business, and most importantly, creating strong communities, having good schools that our kids can go to, safe neighborhoods, making sure neighbors and friends are talking to each other, even if it's through social media. The Chamber's doing a lot of really cool things toward that. We've had great events in the last just 2 months. We have more coming up. 200-person event next Tuesday at the Botanic Gardens at Chatfield. I encourage you to do one thing if you do anything today, and that's to be active. Don't necessarily speak if that's not your style. For some people, they just prefer to sit and listen. But listen intently. Make sure you hear and you see and you engage with the people that are here. And then this afternoon over lunch, or maybe tonight when you're at a movie, or over the weekend, think about what you got today. The information is going to be great, there's no doubt. But think about the experience as well, the people that you met, the relationships that you're able to create from that. And if you find any value in that at all, I encourage you to check out our main meetup group. It's South Metro Denver Business. We've got just shy of 3,000 people on there. John mentioned we just passed the 1,000-person mark on this meetup group. There's a lot of power in that. A few small people can change the world, so just think of what 1,000 people can do. It's incredible. So if you're interested at all in what we do, if you're interested in today, check out our main meetup group, see the people that are on there, see the events that we've got. If you have questions, if any of it piques your interest whatsoever, give us a call. My card's on the back table there. I've also got some up front. I've got plenty in my pocket. Grab me after this event. I'd love to chat with you more about what we do and how to engage effectively and put some of what you learn about social media into practice in person. Thank you all very much. I'm not going to talk any longer. And John, take it away.
Thank you. Some of our other group coordinators, Ron Kernut, Jennifer Peel, Mike Hanberry, he's going to be leading our tips group. Savannah and Amy and Annie are out front. Really happy all you guys could come today. Our sponsors, like Patrick mentioned, My Favorite Muffin, they supply all the muffins. Pete's Coffee supplies the coffee. And Dale makes a video of each one of these sessions and posts it up on YouTube so that people can see that. And Dale had a couple of things to mention.
I'd like to start by saying thanks for everybody for coming today. It was a little bit cold. There are a couple of friends over here that we're doing a fundraiser for a homeless shelter, and what we're doing is having these up here, kind of give people a look at them. We're going to do some bids on them, and if you have some interest in making a bid on one of them, just see me after the meeting.
Thank you, Dale. And so the way we begin is talk about some different influences on social, that social media marketing has had on the way that we do business. How many people have seen that TV commercial where they're saying, oh, did you know this happened? And they're saying, oh, this is 27 seconds ago, and this is 47 seconds ago. If you haven't, you'll see it for sure because it's on all the time. But the speed at which people need to do things today and the way that they believe that people ought to react and how fast we ought to do things and the on-demand and the personalization of what goes on in the business transactions, everything's getting to be more of an open book about businesses, and everything's getting to be a lot quicker and a lot faster. And so that's a real trend that's going to be somewhat difficult for businesses to keep up with. When I talk to everybody, it's wow, I'm busy, wow, I'm busy, wow, I'm busy, and it's kind of horrendous. One of the things that we've talked about in the past is the change from the marketing message being something that's created by marketers and having a wall up versus the transparency of how people want to get to know a business today. A lot of businesses put things out there. When you say transparency, I don't know that everybody really thinks about that and say, oh, well, yeah, they know my address, they know my phone number, and they know I sell this product. But as consumers, what you're doing is you're looking at businesses on a more personal level. You're starting to look at people and how they do business and some of the things that you want to include in transparency. So this is a difference between social media marketing as a way of life and social media marketing as an advertising tool, right? If it's an advertising tool, I have a tendency to go out there and say, this is my product, and this is how I interact with the world, and all my conversation is based around my product and my service, and this is how I do my social media marketing. truly to take advantage of social media and the open book nature of it and the things that are changing in the world. What people want to know about your company is what do you read, right? What kind of things do you read? Can I get to know you on a personal level? Who do you help? Do you do anything around the holidays that helps people out? And this is great for social media. How do you think? What are your values? What do you participate in? And so social media has this great way of saying, let's get to know each other on a more personal level. And people look for that more so than, I sell lawn services, or I'm an attorney, or I do this or that or the other thing. And I think that's where a lot of people miss the boat, is not opening things up and celebrating that transparency that people want to have by virtue of social media marketing. Has anybody had any examples of things like that where they've done business with somebody or gotten to know somebody in business better through this medium as opposed to just saying, oh, okay, I understand what they do, and that's led to a better relationship? Yeah.
Well, all the time, and it varies how I communicate with various clients and people. Some are on LinkedIn, and that's how we communicate. Others we communicate via old-fashioned email. So that's why I just encourage everybody to use.
It's funny that email's old-fashioned now. Yeah,
yeah, it's so 20th
I love
century.
That, yeah. So 20 seconds ago.
But there are so many pipelines out there, and I get inquiries all the time from people who've just found me out there. But it's so be out on all those multiple places and get comfortable communicating with people in 5 and 6 and 7 different kinds of ways, and you may even talk to them on the telephone once in a while or in person. So.
And so, yeah, as I'm meeting with our clients, they all have a tendency to want to push their product out there instead of saying, who works at our company? What kind of things do they do? What sort of initiatives are we passionate about? What kind of things do we want to share about the world? And the why of what you do is becoming equally as important to the what of what you do to people. They want people that have passion. They want people that are engaged. They want people that really make a difference. And these things also negate price, right? Only 25% of people really shop based on price alone. The other 75% of us shop based on value. We will pay more if we like something about you, if you provide better service, if you're going to have a better relationship with me. And so I think that fundamental difference ought to come through in social media as you're out there engaging. Now, do I want to know everything about you? No. I only want to know the interesting things that persuade me and let me get to know you. I don't need to know everything, and so don't bore me with that. But some of that information, so that transparency, I think, is very, very important. So our conversation this morning, you guys all have a handout. It's a one-pager that looks like this. And so planning your social media marketing for 2012. What should you think about? What ought you do differently than you did in 2011? And the best way that I could kind of get a handle on this is to look at the trends, to look at the way that people are interacting, to look at the way that communications are changing continually as we go forward. And so, I couldn't get away from some of the things that we talked about last year because they're just good, solid marketing principles that will probably be on this list for the next 50 years. And the first thing is, define your specific target audience and how you can add value to them, right? So who is this person that I want to influence by doing these activities? And what is the value that I would be able to add to their life, and what kind of information would I want to share with them that would be insightful, that would be good? And so, if you're a writer, you write to an audience. If you're a musician, you sometimes have to play to your audience. So sometimes you can do what you want. But if you want to engage people, you've got to kind of think about who they are and what they might like and how you would put that information together in a way that would be interesting for them to consume. So I think that's number one, is you're planning your strategy. Who is this? And we take it to the nth degree and say, is this a male or a female? How much money do they make? What is their age group? What's their level of education? Do they have kids? What are they concerned about in the world? how do they shop? How do they make decisions? Is it analytical? Is it emotional? Is it a combination of these things?